Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today what we're going to do, go back and redo the Wilson irons comparison video. So with the new models of the D9 Forged and the Launchpad 2 involved, we're going to go through all the irons that Wilson offer and see which one is best. So we're going to start with the Launchpad 2 and work our way through to the D9 irons, then the D9 Forged, the CB, and then the staff model blades finally. And we're just going to compare how each react versus the others and just see how any of them might be able to help you and your game too. So let's get started. So let's start off with the Wilson Launchpad 2 iron. This is very much designed to be their most forgiving, highest launching, easiest to use iron. I'm expecting to see some nice high ball flights, really forgiving kind of shots if I don't quite strike it. Probably maybe a touch more distance because of the extra height I'm getting. So let's have a look, see what happens. Just got a set up here on a par 3, 160 yards. Really chunky down behind the ball, very forgiving looking. Certainly some height there. Very noisy as well, so that was really loud and harsh off the club face. A little short. A little bit of offset in this club head, obviously designed to try and help get the ball up in the air and square the face up a little bit. A little bit heavy. Nice wide sole helping me out there. Yeah, just very, very easy to get up in the air. But certainly feel-wise, very harsh off the club face, quite firm, as you'd expect from this hollow design. The club very loud off the club face, much like a hybrid or wood. But it does feel like it's coming off nice and fast, and it's certainly launching nice and high. So doing exactly what it's designed to do. Let's switch up to the D9 now and see if we can see any difference. So Wilson D9, their sort of flagship model if you like, a little bit more cavity in the back of the club that's exposed rather than it being a filled kind of hollow design. A little bit narrower sole, but we've still got quite a lot of help in terms of the wide sole and the big cavity. Down behind the ball certainly looks a little less chunky than the Launchpad 2, but it's meaty, so there's still plenty of help there, I think. Let's have a hit with it, see what it does. Really loud is the first impression. Powerful. So these I know for sure are much stronger lofted as well. So I think it's around 27 degrees on this D9 iron, which is super strong for a 7 iron, which is going to give you probably more distance with that kind of stronger loft. But for a lot of people might struggle to get the launch in the air, so the Launchpad 2 might still be the better option. Noise wise, much louder than I was expecting. Real crack off the club face. But yeah, I can tell that the ball's flying out a lot further. Looks good behind the ball though. Not as chunky and certainly not as much offset, but still plenty of help there. That wasn't as struck, that one, but it's still going well. Ball is stopping on the green okay, so even if there's a little less spin or a little less height or launch, it's certainly got the stopping power for me, but that's something always to check when you're getting custom fitted. Yeah, just the overriding thing is how loud it is off the face. It really does sound powerful, but can't complain with the results. All really good shots, all finishing good distance, plenty of stopping power, and I felt like I could hit that across the face and it was going to give me that forgiveness as well. So we are now on to the D9 Forged from Wilson. These are a blend of the D9 range, which is very forgiving, very powerful, but these have got more of a forged feel. And that includes a bit more muscle in the back of the club head, a little thinner sole, a little thinner top line, a lot less offset. So these are aimed at the better player, but the better player that wants distance still. So These have been a very popular iron. The D7 forged with the previous version, that's actually still what I'm using. So these are, again, are a little less lofted than a traditional 7 iron, around 30 degrees of loft. So they're a little bit more loft than the D9. So we'll see if that affects the ball flight and the spin, see what we get. Certainly straight away behind the ball, less offset, much thinner top line, a little bit more compact shape. Noise immediately different as well. Much softer sounding, softer feeling as well. And the height straight away was a much higher shot. Certainly more height, a little less distance because of it, I think. That's a better swing. They certainly feel nice off the face, that little bit of spring, but the materials inside the head, so the dampening materials are really doing their job. They're making it feel a lot softer off the face than the D9, and with that the acoustic is much softer to the ears as well, so really nice club to hit. Hit a couple more with these. Yeah, when you hit them nicely they feel lovely, really nice. Good height, good distance. Oof. Can't complain that these are probably the ones I would game out of all of them, but it will be interesting to see how they compare all side by side. Pulled it a little bit. But yeah, certainly visually coming off a little less distance. There's a little bit more height as well, but in numbers it'll be interesting to see where they stack up. So we're into now the Wilson CB irons. These are much more of a lower handicap players irons, much thinner sole, a lot less cavity in the back, but there is a little bit of a cutaway, so there is a little bit of help in there. And we've got a lot less offset and a lot thinner top line here. So these are much more traditionally lofted at 34 degrees for the 7 iron. So definitely expect to see more height, more spin, and probably a little less distance, but feel wise, nice and soft feel with those forged irons. So again, little difference in sound, definitely more height, so way more height there and a lot more spin, so it's definitely dropped out the air a little bit early. Pulled it a little bit. They feel nice off the face. But these are the irons I used to own. I always felt like they were a little bit harder work to get more out of, so for me, I'm always looking for help with distance. These always felt like I had to put the effort in. That one there was a little bit off the bottom of the club, and it just isn't going as far. So forgiveness wise, certainly lower than the other models that we tried so far. So I'd always say these are for the person that wants nice feel, traditional looks, and has that good consistency of strike as well. That was a good shot, good swing. But yeah, definitely more height and more spin, which is just by eye losing me a lot of distance, so not the ideal fit for me, but that doesn't mean the iron's no good for someone else. So last but not least, we have the Wilson Staff Model Blade. These are the full traditional blade, thin sole, very thin top line, muscle in the back, nothing really carved away out the back, so it is a proper bladed iron. Loft wise, these are around, I think, just above 30 degrees. But this is all on me. If I don't strike these, they're not going to offer me as much help as the other models. So let's see how I get on. So as you'd expect, down behind the ball, really thin top line from above. No offset at all on this club. Really is a very traditional bladed look. Very compact. Have owned a set of these as well, so I've kind of gone through the whole range nearly. But again, these are not the most forgiving. That one there was a little bit off the bottom of the club, and I paid for it. It's dropped out in terms of distance, so we can get one in the middle. That's a bit better. Again, loads of height. It's just all dropping short of where I need it to. Put me into a very deep bunker short there. That was a better strike. I can just feel there's not as much help in the head. There's not as much speed off the club face. And I just know that means I'm probably losing 5 to 10 yards of distance in the air. Let's hit a couple more and we're going to then compare all the numbers together. Again, just because I don't think these suit me as much doesn't mean they won't suit someone else the best. It's just very much down to the swing and the preferences of the player. Hit that one really nice. Oh, and let's see if we can get one on the green with the blade. Not with a strike like that. Really out the bottom, really spinny because of that. And again, just really big loss of distance. So let's have a look at all the numbers side by side, see which one really is performing best for me. We can see very clearly that the longest out of all of them is the D9 iron. So the most powerful and the least lofted club at 27 degrees. It's just giving me a lot more ball speed at 114 mile an hour. It's giving me a lower launch, a lower backspin, and that equated all together is going to go the furthest, carrying that 168 yards average with a 7-iron, which is pretty long for me, and that's really down to the loft and the design of that club head. Very forgiving but very powerful because of the loft and that cavity. So second best in terms of distance is actually the Launchpad 2. Not that surprising, being another very forgiving club. Big cavity, big wide sole, relatively friendly lofts in terms of not being too de-lofted, but it's given me a good ball speed off the club face, 110 mile an hour, decent launch angle at 22, so it is high, but it's with good speed, and the spin's not too high, so it's spinning at only 5,300 RPM, and that's given me just under 160 yards carry on average. Not bad, and it's pretty straight and very forgiving as well. So the two distance irons, unsurprisingly, are giving me the most distance, closely followed by the D9 Forge and another distance iron that's blended for the better player. So the D9 Forge giving me 110 mile an hour ball speed, just under 22 degrees of launch, just over 6,000 RPM backspin, and that's giving me an average carry on 154, which is exactly where I'd expect my kind of 7-iron that I'm using to be at the moment. The CB and the blade, unsurprisingly, due to I think mostly the loft on the club and the design of the club, give me the least ball speed at 108, 107 mile an hour, and they're still launching the ball at 22 degrees or around 22 degrees. Really, I'm launching the ball higher with a lot more backspin at 7,000 and just over 7,000 RPM. That's given me like the worst combination of a high launch, high spin with low ball speed. And so the ball's just going up in the air and dropping out the sky and not giving me any distance. And when I don't quite catch it in the middle, it's giving me even less ball speed and probably even more spin. Really, the D9 Forge is the best of both worlds for me, and that's the one I would choose to game. But if I was looking for all out distance, the D9 all day long would be the one I'd go for. It's giving me good spin, it's giving me very good ball speed, and it's giving me great distance across the boards. D9 is the best iron. D9 Forge is my personal choice. The D9 Forge gives me a lot more help when I need it and gives me a lot more distance when I want it. So that's the one for me. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope it helps you make a better decision for your next set of irons if you're going down the Wilson route. Always go and get custom fit. Always check and compare models if you can. If you enjoyed today's video, please do smash that like button down below. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button, tap the little bell icon next to it, and you'll be alerted to every new video I post. If you've got any other videos you want to see, put them in the comments below, and I'll try and get around to making them as soon as I can. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.